Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Harakak Double honors, of course, to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are the true elders of all Israel, whether you can receive that or not. As well as honest to the Akim out there doing this work in truth and sincerity, presenting their bodies living sacrifices to bring you guys this 144% truth to the hopeful elect that may be scattered abroad the four winds, that are scattered abroad the four winds, who may look like the heathen nation, but of course go back to, our nation, as well as, Shalom to the 1/3. I'm Brother Azar with the Sons of Yasharallah out here in Colorado Springs. A Lycan camp, if you will, to, the men of Great Millstone, as we try to be, Lord willing. I saw this article on endtimeheadlines.org, and it just kind of got me to thinking, we live in a time of great confusion, where, the Most High has many stumbling blocks out there, to catch niggas' ankles, man, for lack of a better, term. There's plenty of stumbling blocks, given in this time, and this is one of them. Well, anyways, let's read from endtimeheadlines.org, of course. It says, Left Behind author says rapture end times Bible prophecies have been fulfilled, so we must be ready. So, funny thing is, this bald-headed, he looks to be an Edomite, but that's not to say he could be a Jake Bedine, anybody could be, anything if we go by that, he seems to be an Edomite, damn near, we can't rule out, psyops, in a lot of these religions or denominations, because there's a lot of money to be had in, the confusion of Jake, if you will. You see what I'm saying? So, the more the merrier, so we can't rule out that, this guy's just, a paid off Esau, agent, if you will. Let's read. It says New York Times bestselling author Jerry B. Jenkins. You see, and that's, like a little rhymey name. And people do that, in real life, real time, with their kids, even Jake, you might have Daquan and Trayvon, so it sounds similar or something along those lines. You see what I'm saying? So Jake does do those things too. So, but who's to say this ain't a psyop? Just to keep that in the forefront of your minds, at all times. Especially with this media, at the very least, if it's not a psyop or a false flag, it's definitely a possible situation where it could be a what's the word I'm looking for? Salakia, I can't think of the word, but you guys get where I'm going with it. It says, anyways, is urging Christians to be ready because he says the rapture end times Salakia. Had to, adjust real quick. He says the Rapture End Times fictional series Left Behind is also the author of The Chosen books, which chronicle his son's hit series, The Chosen, for which he's completed the third novel. So just kind of going into, his, overall background situation. With over 200 books published, so, some people get stuck on a book for years, but this guy has 200, so this he could very well just be, agent of Esau, to keep, reiterating that point. But, it also could be, he could be being used by the Most High on the left-hand side was the point that was escaping me. You see? So, with these 200 books, with, this Left Behind series that's a bestseller on New York, on New York Times charts. You see what I'm saying? So, or well, list. So he could very well, just be being used by the Most High, if at the very least, or at the very most, I should say, So, regardless, let's jump down a little bit. He says, "My goal is always to reach for the heart and to find the emotional center of those seeds sown of all people in." Was the poet Robert Frost, who said, if there are no tears in the writer, there have been no tears in the reader. Believe me, there are tears in the writer, he told the Christian Post in a recent interview. So, even right here, he's saying, he's trying to tug at, men's heartstrings, if you will, tugging at, and we know heart goes back to mind, you see what I'm saying? So he's trying to tug at people's mind and get people to think along certain lines so that they will, be more apt, to fall in line with, the Christian church's, agenda. 1 second. Salakia family. But yeah, to be apt to fall more in line with, the Christian church and how they have, a specific agenda on, corrupting, the scriptures, man, and having men go astray from, the true doctrine. And when I say men, of course, I'm talking about, us men of Israel. You see what I'm saying? Because, we were given the law, specifically, see, us Negro, Latino, Native Americans, but to the point, we're going to jump down right here to the bottom. It says, "It's clear we're heading for something, and it seems sooner than ever now. The prophecies do say that Israel will be attacked from all sides, which seems like that's happening now." You see, and this is why I say he could very well be an agent or just, a snare given unto us by the Most High. However, we have to understand that this Left Behind author, doesn't understand the scriptures. That's, principally going to happen to, the men of the Lord here in the end when they come after, the prophets. You see what I'm saying? Also, where it talks about, where 1,000 will fall at thy right and, 10,000 at thy left, or, vice versa, to roughly paraphrase, if I said that wrong. But point being is, we have somebody here who doesn't, have the full understanding or the, the complete understanding, if you will, of the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? And he can't rightly divide them as the scriptures have said. You see what I'm saying? And, this is why, we must, be thankful that the Most High has given us this truth. You see what I'm saying? But, this is why, I said that he could be an agent of Esau, because, down here, when we read on, it says, after it says where it seems like it's happening now, and then it says the great bear of the north and the great army from the east will also attack. You see? So he's hinting, at Russia without, saying too much, alluding into World War III to have an air of seeming as if he, has some, eye or ear to prophecy, if you will, but, this guy, he talks about, a rapture, and we know the Christian church believes in a pre-tribulation rapture, which is, contrary to the scriptures. Because first off, Yahushua isn't coming back for everybody. He's coming back for, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, his elect, those souls that are allotted to be saved, that are given to him by the Most High. So we can't, discount that fact. You see what I'm saying? And the elders have continually taught and schooled us on the fact that there's no pre-tribulation rapture for the Christian church, because this salvation isn't for the Christian church. And also, you see, there's no pre-tribulation rapture for the Israelites as well, for any of those Israelites that have one of these off denominations that believe something along those lines. You see what I'm saying? Because let's see. I'll just start at Matthew 24:1, and we'll read probably around 8, 9, if you will. Well, probably 8. Just to kind of cut this notion of the church, not having to go through hard times, and we know who that church is. Speaking of, not this so-called Christian church or this Roman Catholic church, you see. And it says, Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall be not left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. You see. Let's read on. And it says, And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, what shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So, when Yahushua was, saying this place is going to be thrown down, this is representative of, Israel first and foremost, when it, obviously talking about the temple. You see what I'm saying? You could, because Israel's people before it's a place, as well as the people, which would happen a short time later, 70 AD, where we'd be, cut asunder by the Romans pretty much, and, cast out from there. But, to read on, the prophets are asking, the apostles are asking Yahushua, what is the signs of the end times, because if we go back here, we have this guy, this, and to make a point, bald-headed, clean-faced, clean as can be, Edomite, Christian author, we're gonna see Yahushua's interpretation versus this dude's. You see. Let's read on. It says Matthew 24:4, and he says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. So let's think, man. Yahushua just said here in Matthew 24:4, take heed that no man deceive you. So you see this bald-headed, bare-faced Edomite, Christian author, bestseller here in America, Babylon, over 200 books. Rich little Edomite dude. Probably, goes cross country to these little Edomite churches, perverting the scriptures, if you will, in the sense of him not, having, full understanding, and pushing forth this notion of a pre-tribulation rapture for the Christian church, that, inevitably, these Jake churches gravitate and hold on to and teach the same. You see, in their segregated churches, let's go back, now that we have that food for thought, if you will. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. You see what I'm saying? And you have that in a myriad of ways, and one of those ways is false prophets, false men, false teachers, if you will, leading people astray, deceiving, man. You see? For many, like we already read that, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. Salakia beat the alarm and decided, to do a video. But anyways, to the point, so Yahushua is giving us a synopsis of the end times, if you will, the true end times, because, as the elders have broken down to us, in full understanding, the end times essentially started when Yahushua, first came on the scene. You see what I'm saying? That was, essentially the beginning of the end, if you will, So, Yahushua is giving a synopsis of, the true end times, the times we're in now, and he's saying there shall be wars and rumors of wars, so the Edomite, is right about that, but, there's things that we must endure, in the times to come. It's not just a poof, we're out of here before, the MOTB, Revelation 13 to 16, on down. And of course, World War III there shortly after, or along the midst thereof, however the Lord decides to, of course, however speedily he wants to bring those things about, and it says, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. You see? So all those things are happening in the midst of, society, while, essentially the elect will be alive. You see what I'm saying? The men of the Lord, the prophets, will be going through these things, right? Because it says all these are what? The beginning of sorrows. So all those things that he just prophesied, you see what I'm saying, are things that the people being prophesied to, if you will, must endure. You see what I'm saying? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So we've yet to be afflicted, we've yet to be delivered up to anyone. So the fact remains that, it's impossible for, it to be an any day now type of thing right here at this present moment. So he's prophesying something that, isn't true. Things have to still happen in order for, the end to come, if you will. That's my point, so that, it's not misconstrued or misinterpreted. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. So Yahushua is continuing to prophesy about the end times, and many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And this, this Edomite here, is one of them, essentially. You see what I'm saying? Giving a false narrative. You see what I'm saying? Of the things to come. Because a prophet, what do? They foretell. They say before. It's very simple, man. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You see, but he that shall endure until the end. Here's the point. So there's something that must be endured to the end. You see what I'm saying? The same shall be saved, and the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. You see, so the gospel, is being preached and has been preached throughout, the whole world. You have camps, especially, through the middle of Great Millstone. You see what I'm saying? Around the world, man. And like in camps, man. Verse 15, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which it be in Judea flee into the mountains. You see, I wanted to jump down to verse 20. Verse 21, excuse me. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be, and that's another narrative to cut this pre-tribulation rapture, because, this guy's whole point, this Jerry Jenkins guy, his whole point is that, they believe that, they'll be saved before this world falls into chaos, man. You see what I'm saying? And that's the hope that they've fallen into. That's a snare that the Most High has put on these devils' mind, man. And this devil's mind, and whoever is buying and eating up his books. You see what I'm saying? Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. You see, so the elect are going to be a witness, so they're going to be amongst the affliction going on here in Babylon, man. Because when if you look at the author's books, the Left Behind series, it's the people are left behind to endure, the coming catastrophes of the apocalypse, man, of the end of the world, man. It's a good premise for a writer, because he could do a whole bunch of stories and different backstories on people leading up to the proverbial rapture, if you will, which is just ecstasy for their little mind, if you will, is what that word goes into. So they're on spiritual dopamine, as a snare from the Most High, man. Which is a fearful thing, man. The Most High can put you off into any manner of diverse lust and wicked doctrines, man, and just lack of understanding, if you will. 23, and then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. So that's going into people are going to pop up and try to say, oh, well, kind of like, essentially a situation like Comfy, or saying, any manner of diverse things, Yahushua is here or there, or whatever, what camp want to call him, but, when, we rightly divide the word of truth, we have the full understanding of this thing, if you will. We know that, the whole world is going to see, this at one time. You see what I'm saying? When the Most High cracks the sky, unless Yahushua, fully go at this place, man, it's not going to be a mystery and, oh, let's go, it's going to be, a very obvious thing is the point, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You see, so these false prophets, these false teachers, if you will, if it were possible, they would deceive the elect, man. They'll sell you a sweet dream like, oh, so-called, Jesus, that wicked ass demon, Cesare Borgia, he'll save you before anything happens, and before before famine, before the war kicks off super bad, and before your sons or daughters have to get drafted, you good Edomite Christians, and you bootlicking Jakes that follow him, and you brown nosing, Northern Kingdomers and so forth, you're gonna fall right victim with that, man. You see? Behold, I have told you before, wherefore if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth, behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. You see, so don't go for that fucking wicked ass left hand shit, man. Yahweh Shai, when he's not gonna needing to hide nowhere when he comes back, man. He's coming back with the full power of the Heavenly Father, man. Point blank and period on that, man. So just to cut the notion of the pre-tribulation rapture, we're going to read 29 and 30, and we'll just leave it at that. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days. So that means the fucking elect, you see what I'm saying? Those that are really going to be saved, the true elect of the nation of Yashar Allah, the ones that the Most High has set aside, unto, himself and Yahweh Shai, are going to have to endure through this. You see what I'm saying? Period. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. You see? Here's the point I wanted to grab for you guys. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. You see what I'm saying? So this guy talking about, you guys are going to be left behind to endure all this fucking calamity and bullshit while, us fucking Christians, come on, man. Doesn't make any sense if you just read, man. Here's the point. And he shall send, here's another point. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, or with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to another. You see? So he's gonna, he's not grabbing even the whole of those that believe, because it doesn't say many shall say Lord, Lord. You see, so these are easy snares, man. These are easy scoffs at the truth, if you will. And this is just a stumbling block. This is a demonic force, an entity, that the Most High has working for him on the left-hand side, to ensnare the minds of those, that the Most High, deems that he doesn't want, man. And it's really cut and dry and simple. Once you understand this truth, man, if the Most High, separates your mind and is dealing with you, it's really not hard to see. It's really easy to, look past. You can go ahead and look this guy up and look into the Left Behind series. That weird ecstasy like belief where you're in the backyard having a barbecue, and you and everybody in your family's beamed up, and your neighbors are freaking out. before anything bad happens is an unrealistic notion, and as men of the Lord, as prophets, we're commanded, to, hit the highways and byways, and bid as many to the marriage, and one of those things is, taking off those blinders, man, you know, um, you know, uh, and helping, you know, uh, bestow that spiritual eye salve. You see what I'm saying? That comes from, the Heavenly Father. The Heavenly Father can only wake your mind up to this thing, man. We know that this thing is a gift, man. Faith is a gift. You see what I'm saying? We can't come to Yahushua and the Most High. Yahushua has to sup with us, man. You see what I'm saying? It's not. You see what I'm saying? We can't go seek out, the all powerful. If you want to put it into, layman's terms, easy to digest perspective. That wouldn't make sense. But some all powerful could easily, come to us. You see what I'm saying? But with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Don't fall for the sad attempts of the Christian church to grab whatever souls it can here in the end. These guys, they're light work, man, and with a little bit of reading, man, you can see right through this negative doctrine, man, this left hand energy, that Esau promotes, because guaranteed, this guy's on all the little Christian podcasts and media, and he's probably a well-to-do little figure in the so-called Christian church, so beware, man. The Most High, he's very explicit in the scriptures, and if you want to know where to find knowledge, look in the scriptures, man, and it'll tell you where to find it, but without keeping you guys too long, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushua Bahashim, Harakak Wadash, double honors, of course, to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Honors to you, Akim, out there doing his work in truth and sincerity, presenting your bodies, living sacrifices, as well as Shalom, of course, to the speckled bird Akim, as well as Shalom, to the 1/3, which consists of men, women, children. Abaratazah, this was a food for the soul, as they say. Shalom.